Dick Cavett Show, 191, VTR 91870, Air 92170, take 2. The Dick Cavett Show, with special guests, John Cassavetes, Peter Falk, Ben Gazzara, and Bob Rosengarten and the orchestra. Ladies and gentlemen, Dick Cavett.
Thank you. We're nearly out of time. Tune in tomorrow night when the teleprompter's backwards. Nice to see you. You probably wonder why I'm sitting down here, because this is the first of a series of shows that we're doing like this on Monday nights because of football. You see, we're sort of half preempted by football, and we thought this would give us an opportunity to do some sort of different shows, 45 minutes in length, on a special subject or a certain guest or something like that. And there are a number of other advantages to this, none of which leap to mind at the moment. But it's also being done as a favor to an old man in Wyoming whose set takes 45 minutes to warm up. So it's very hard to explain all this, I know, but I've never done a 45-minute show. I have no idea exactly how long 45 minutes is. It may be over by now, for all I know. But actually, we have 3 guests tonight, which is easier because from 45 minutes, because ABC could not figure out how many times 3 went into 90, so we moved it down to 45. Have I clarified this for everybody? And actually, when you think about it, when a show is shorter, it makes the performer look taller. Tonight, I would like to welcome station WLUK, Channel 11 in Green Bay, Wisconsin, but unfortunately, they're not carrying the show. So, no, they are. Hello, Green Bay. They're getting us live now at 10:30 there. So, I would like to tell you about tonight's show because some time back you saw on the cover of Life magazine the 3 gentlemen who were on tonight, and they've been making a movie for quite a while, and everybody's been wondering in the business how it worked out because they're very individual, aggressive, creative, exciting. They're 3 animals is what these guys are. And it's a movie about 3 men who are sort of terrorized at the idea of turning 40 and the problems this introduces into their marriage and their lives, and some of it's sort of improvised. You know how they work if you saw John Cassavetes' great film, Faces. They're all in the wings now, taking the theater apart. Before they do, will you welcome John Cassavetes, Peter Falk, and Ben Gazzara? Yes. There you go. Falk's having a little trouble getting seated there.
Did you call us animals, Dick?
He's an animal.
Now, please,
How do you answer that? Go ahead.
I meant that merely in the most flattering sense.
Did I say hello to my mother? Because that was the first thing I... Mom, I want to tell you hello.
It's like the old days of boxing.
And to Sonny and the construction crew at Universal, I say hello.
Hi, Sonny.
What else? We don't know anyone else.
Is the bar open backstage? I don't understand. You fellas have made a film. It's finished now, is it? You've done it all, and it's over? Is it? Would you like to nominate one who speaks? What is this? Are you guys going to sit out here and clam up on my first 45-minute show? I think we know the answer to that. Well, who says that men's underwear is supposed to be white? Well, here's an opinion from... Are you guys going to...
Match? Match. Wait.
I got...
Now, wait. Now, you guys aren't going to put me on, are you?
What do you want, a match? What happened?
I just started to lead into a Jockey Short commercial.
The film is finished.
The film is finished.
Coward! Right. Coward! We weren't going to talk to you for 45 minutes. He broke it.
Don't start now.
In other words,
That's not cowardice, that's sensitivity.
you mean, in other words, two of you thought it would be funny to come out here and not talk to me.
That's
for
right.
Ask him
45
why he wore
minutes.
those clothes.
No, Dick, we didn't think it would be funny. We thought you would be funny.
I hope they show your movie on TV and interrupt it with deodorant commercials.
You see what I mean? You see what I mean?
What is this?
Now, do you want more encouragement?
No, wait.
Because it's 3 to 1.
Wait,
Is it because it's 3 to 1?
I'm aligning myself with the money.
Please do.
All right.
Again, Ben?
Yes.
Now, you guys wouldn't pick. I've always been great fans of the three of you. I really have. And I hope that you...
I wish you wouldn't have said that.
Tell who you are so I know, because it's hard to keep the names.
That's John Cassavetes.
This is Harry
Cassavetes.
Gardino.
It feels to me as if we've done 45 now, but we will be right back after this message from someone who doesn't. That's the Jockey Short people. We thought we'd start all over again. My guests are John Cassavetes, Peter Falk, and Ben Gazzara. They have made this movie, which a number of us are panting to hear about. And they all came here to have a lot of fun with me tonight. At my expense and for your amusement, and if you want to...
Seriously.
Seriously?
Would you like to talk about something?
Why not?
What would you like to talk about?
Oh, I don't care, John.
Peter, save me, you know.
You want to talk about art, Dick?
Art.
Or Dick, we could talk about.
This is the reason I didn't join a fraternity. Listen. No, you know, there's something a little frightening about this, because you guys each have a kind of, what I was talking about earlier, animal intensity on the screen that has more than once given me goose flesh up and down the upper arms. And to have you three here kind of staring at me this way is really quite an exciting experience. I mean, as an actor, if I ever become one, someday I'll be able to use this if I'm ever called upon to portray extreme fear. But I thought that now that the ice is broken, or at least one of the layers, we would talk about your film. John, still looking at me, or shall I look? Hey, do you remember the time on my show that you and Norman Mailer got into a sort of set to, and the tension in the air was, you could cut it with a paring knife?
No.
No, well, I thought he might remember that, but he doesn't. Now, let's talk about this, really, the film, for a second.
Sure.
It's the idea of it is that it is three husbands, really, who are, at the time of the film, all married, right?
Benny.
And I don't want to look to see what's happening over there.
Ben.
That's one of my guests nodding off.
Ben.
The film is terrific. Come and see this film. It is the greatest film ever made in the history of the world, I promise you.
Can we have a little dancing in the dark?
Are we...
Could we have a little dancing in
Don't
the dark?
ask. You'll get it. You'll get it.
All right, Benny.
That's in the film.
You know what?
Come and see it.
He
I wanna
does
see it.
this, and he was in this picture because somebody said to him, "Did Paul Bryan really die?"
Right.
You're kidding.
But it's a good picture.
What is this? You're going to be sued by Jerry Lewis if you're not careful. You're dropping cigarette fall. Let's go back to the part where I've always been great fans of these three guys.
Did you have a question for me, Dick?
I want to...
If you have anything to ask, feel free.
Does Peter know how this works?
Peter knows where the camera is.
exactly how it works.
Hey, did you improvise the film or what? I'm going to make it.
Did I personally improvise?
No,
it?
the three of you. Do you do sort
What
of
do
as
you mean
you're
by
doing now?
seriously now?
Yes, of course.
What do you mean by improvise?
I mean improvise. I-M-P-R-O-V-I-S-E.
That's wrong. That's wrong. That's the common misconception.
What do you spell it? P-O-R-V-I-S-E? I don't know what you... Go ahead, Peter.
Well, answer the question.
Save the man.
What is the
You
question?
can't let him die like this. Poor Dick.
What is the question?
Sure
Did
you can.
Did we improvise the film?
I don't...
Is that
That's
the
the question.
Yeah.
Well, may I say
You wait for Peter.
Sure.
Well, I want to tell you why the film may seem long sometimes.
The film seems long to me, and I haven't seen it yet. Yes.
You got to wait for Peter. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Peter, come up with something.
What did you say?
I'll give you one idea.
I was joking with my friend Ben here. I think I'll move
Yeah,
a little,
come over here,
little closer to Ben, just in case.
Peter, remember when you did 37 takes and you said you were just warming up?
I did. I recall that. That's right.
That's kind of nerve-wracking, isn't it?
Well, they were all different. We must say that.
Yeah. So most of the movie will be him doing the same line over and over. Probably.
That's right.
It seems that way to me.
Hey, can you guys all stick around till the end of the show? We have a
Sure.
message, and we'll be right back after it. Welcome back, and especially our friends on the Emmy Award Committee who are watching. Someone asked, oddly enough, during the commercial, what is the film about? So there's obviously a terrific appetite for people to know what the movie is actually about. And yet, no one has bothered to explain
All
what the
right.
movie is about.
Well, we try to make a film in exquisite taste.
Yeah. It's a tasteful movie, is it?
And actually, if I told you the plot of the story, you probably wouldn't accept that either. The
Wouldn't
plot of the
accept the plot?
story... the plot of... A dick on the film. The plot of the story...
My next guest is Alistair Cook, who's going to come out and... Yes. John's going to tell us the plot of the
Be
story.
serious for a moment, would you, John?
Of this
Please.
movie. Obviously, the audience
Peter.
wants to hear
Yes.
about it, and
Cut it out.
I'm sorry.
Now, cut it out,
Let the
Peter.
director talk about the picture.
You ever guys ever...
Now, come on, be
All right,
serious
the
and
plot-
don't giggle. Don't giggle.
Actually, it's a very
All right.
good picture.
Okay.
We spent 2 years making. We're not finished yet. Some poor company named Columbia bought the picture from us something like 18 months ago. And we screened it for them again in rough cut. And they liked the picture very much, and they're afraid we're not going to give it to them because we keep on changing. Now, the picture is boring to talk about this way. You have to go to see it. So, all I can tell you is that it's a very serious picture about death. A man dies who's our best friend, and that's what the picture's about. After the death, you never see that. Never. That's what the picture's about.
Now,
He
can
just
I say
buried us.
something?
He just
Can I
buried
say
us.
something? Not only to the people in the studio, but to everybody that's watching.
Please.
What about Dick?
I work
That's
with
an
this
enormous
man.
How about
assumption.
talking to Dick?
Forget Dick.
No.
Dick is... Forget Dick.
I think we
fine.
forgot
Dick. Dick is fine.
Actually, the four of us forgot Dick. Yes. Let Peter rap a while and groove.
Let
and,
me just rap a while.
What's that white stuff on my toe? What is... I never saw anything like that in my life. My wife put powder in my shoes. She also laid my clothes out tonight. She
Yeah?
picked out my clothes. That's right. I wanted to wear something flashy.
Why do
White
you-
pants with red shorts or something. And she put this conservative stuff.
Powder.
What does he refer to
That's
his-
as odd a looking foot as I've ever seen bared on the show. Oh,
Yeah, but he could have said...
something's
Jack.
going on over here. Dave.
He didn't have to say
See,
why.
now that's why I didn't understand this
I don't know
man.
why.
That was the point I was making before.
No idea.
What he's...
Did you guys get to know each other pretty well in the making of the... She just kissed part of his finger.
I didn't. It was a trick.
Oh, it's a trick. It looked like you did.
A trick.
Thank God you didn't do that again.
Did you ever see this one?
Thank God.
No.
Wait a minute. Wait. No, don't get out. No, don't get out. Don't get out.
Don't get up.
No.
Oh, my God.
Oh, really? Now, you've seen 3 guys fall down, right?
Right.
Want to see something else?
Right. Come on, David.
Good. Here's the queen. Now, John, you made this picture.
Yes, I did it all by myself. I don't want to share credit with anyone.
Mr. Gazzara, you were in the picture?
No.
You were not?
No. I'm not in it anymore.
You were not in the picture.
Dick,
I
let me
see.
ask you a question. How did you... Sit down there, Peter.
Nice to have you back.
I think we can all learn something from this. God knows I have. No, I think it's time to reveal our little joke. Isn't it wonderful to have the Three Stooges back in the business? May we?
What do you think about
Maybe
women?
for a moment.
Seriously, what do you think about women?
You're going to come out here and wreck my rug and then ask me what I think about women?
No, what do you think about the women lib movement?
The women's... That's one thing I've forbidden myself to think about because so often in recent weeks that subject has come up that I thought that's one thing that's out. Tell about the time you punched Stanley Kramer in the nose. Talk about tension. Now, Now, listen, there's a question that's on everyone's mind.
Too much talk
There is
going
a-
on around here today. Don't you feel that, Dick?
Are you guys all smashed?
On what?
On life.
On
Seriously.
life. Down with
On life?
drugs, all those things. Terrible things. Terrible things.
Yeah.
Terrible things.
I
Just
want to say this to you.
breathe that air.
I am absolutely sober.
John never drinks.
That's
Peter
wine.
hardly drinks, and I drink sometimes.
Yeah. Then how...
What do you... Come down here and say that. I'll knock you right on your... Look at this. It looked like a good suit, right?
Anyway, seriously,
What is it that you wanted to ask, Dick? Now, let's get into something
I had a
that's
chance to go
serious
into
here.
the stockbroker business about 4 years ago.
isn't it better than talking about, well, while I was in Las Vegas,
Actually, we had a terrific show. There was a marvelous entertainer there. And she really knocked them. She wowed them. And I did a little number that was pretty good.
but seriously, Dick,
You know, I said earlier how 45 minutes would fly by. What's the film about, fellas?
Well,
Peter's terrific at this.
I'm very, very good at this.
Go ahead.
please, Peter.
Do you have an hour?
No, but it will certainly seem like it.
All right. If everybody will be very, very patient, I'll tell you exactly what the film is about. But it
No, I don't want to hear now.
Now, wait a minute.
Now,
wait a minute.
no.
This requires a little patience.
Now I
There's
see.
not a few people are going to see this film, I'll tell you
Now,
that
wait a
right
minute.
now.
Now, wait a minute. Oh, and then I'll-
Stand up and tell him what
All
the
right.
picture's about.
Now, I'm going to tell you what the picture is about.
You know, Ben, I mean,
But this is
what's
not
his
a
name?
simple film.
Peter, you
It's a
picked a bad
complicated
time because
film.
we
It's
have a
not a
message from our
palatable
local
film.
stations, and we'll be... Unfortunately, we're back. You said during the break, Mr. C. Cassavetes, that you wanted to talk a bit about women's lib. Now, I've never been one to stomp on my guests and stop them from what they wanted to speak about.
Well, I'd like to speak about that, but I would like to say that you're a terrific sport. And we were clowning around an awful lot and heavily, and I think that you're great.
1 out of 3.
Very, right? Very? Come here. Who said yeah? I'll knock you right on your...
Oh,
Benny,
now,
Benny.
now see,
All right.
Benny.
That's
please.
enough of that.
now this guy tried to be nice, and you had to come and do a thing like that. And Falk didn't come to my defense either.
I'm ready. Women's lib.
What did we learn in the making of this film? Did we have any fun? Did we ever fight among ourselves? Did our relationship damage itself in any way? We three?
We constantly fought.
Yeah. Did you really?
Yes, we constantly fought.
Actually come to blows?
I think that there is a certain truth in the fact that out of argument and disagreement, out of anger, out of irritation, there comes a caring, there comes a respect, and there comes a friendship. I would say that's the truth.
That was hardly worth waiting for. Yes, there is something to that. But would you say that the bond between... Were you guys really like... Were you close friends before you made the film? Are you closer friends now? Or is there a little certain tension?
No, John and I and Peter had met on occasion. We'd met saying hello across... I was never a friend of John's or Peter's. And neither were they of each other. So there was kind of a fan thing. We liked each other's work. We liked the temperament of each other when we saw each other's work. So I guess that's why we got together. It was his idea. The picture was John's idea, and it was his idea to cast Peter. Now, in the conventional Hollywood film, you'd have a blonde between us with him. There's some guy with blue eyes or something. To cast the three of us together is insanity. You know, Louis B. Mayer would say, "What?
Oh, yeah.
Those three dark New York fellas? Yeah, we can't put them together.
No glamour.
We got to put Lassie between them. Somebody who get love and affection."
Or a blonde, blue-eyed fellow.
That's...
In other words...
Dick, I want to tell you something.
In other
very
words, the
honest.
movie lacks what tonight's show has.
That's right. I'll say this very honestly now. We did not think of you. That is true.
What do you
We
mean?
didn't think of you.
In what area? I thought of him a lot.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't think of you.
Obviously,
If you
he
want to
kissed
know
me
the
a
truth, if you want to know the truth about our relationship as far as the three of us are concerned...
Don't tell us truth about our relationship, Peter.
Why not, John?
Because I don't want you to.
You find it damaging?
Damaging.
All right, I won't.
Actually, what we do is the three of
Are
us...
you afraid of him? Is that why you succumb to his orders like that?
I'm terrified of him.
I'd like to kill him. I'm not terrified of him.
Tell the truth. Be truthful.
Be honest?
Didn't we have a terrific fight about a few weeks ago?
A week ago.
A week.
John and I
Oh, tell
almost
about
hit
that.
each other.
Tell about
I can't
that.
tell about that.
Why not?
I can't tell the
It
reason
would be
for it
disloyal
because
if he did that.
disgraceful.
you see.
It is? Is it in the movie in any way? Were you able to...
The fight in the movie?
Yeah, we have
I
a-
wish the fight were in the movie. It's not in the movie.
No.
It was off.
In other
It's
words, the
about
fight-
choices. The fight was about choices. The man is the most open filmmaker I've ever known.
John.
Yes. The most humble, open, and tenacious and remorseless in trying to find a way to make the picture work. Wait a minute. That's honest. You see? You
No,
can't
I
tell
think-
the difference.
That's true.
You got bad luck
Right.
for that.
One night I did a
No,
show...
and I disagreed with John about a certain scene, etc., and I disagreed enough to yell, scream, holler, and say, "Come on outside, I'll kill you," over
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Now,
I wouldn't go outside, though. No chance.
No?
Yes, he
Inside or nothing, with the rugs at least, where you can fall easily.
Any
No,
chance
the
anything
point,
like
the point
that could
is, you
happen
see,
in a...
this brings me back to a talent like Orson Welles, who you had on your show. Let me get really serious for a moment. You had on your show the other night, who for me is the greatest talent that we've ever produced, the greatest film talent ever. And it is a crime and a shame that this country doesn't appreciate, respect, and build a theater for this man. Build a place where he can give us pleasure.
Yes.
And I think it's important but what can happen to a man like Orson is that he can go to Spain and get closed off from arguments, from tension, from the tension that John allows himself to be part of. That means the screaming about good work, the passion about it, etc., which he's still open to, and that's what makes him a great film artist.
So you,
a great one.
Yes, you have to risk the burden of...
I never knew you felt that way, Ben.
Well, I do.
So there's a certain risk in that, though, isn't there? Because you also take on the financial risk of the film.
No, the three of us haven't received a penny from the film.
We haven't received a penny yet.
A great deal of our money. We're partners, actually, in the film.
And if the film should not be a financial success, whose money?
Columbia's money, then, in that case.
Yeah.
Well, Columbia's money and 2 years of our lives with no money.
Why should you have trouble getting money to do a film? I don't know if you did or not, but Faces was such a success that usually they think, well, quick, let the same guy make another film.
Well, I honestly think that Husbands is a very fine film. I think that it has something to do with what's happening today. From our point of view, from, three guys that have lived part of their lives and don't have their youth to look forward to. I mean, their real early youth to look forward to. But more than that, I think it's one statement of a man's point of view in life. We all get so chicken that we're afraid of our jobs, we're afraid of our wives, we're afraid of our children, we're afraid to go out in the street. And the people that criticize that fear then quickly become contaminated with that. And I really think it's because we live too much from one point of view. Mm-hmm. One point of view means that we're too worried about the way we would appear. We always appear to be something that we're not. We're unhappy with it, and later on, I mean, when women are married for 5 or 10 years, then they begin to say, look, that's not me. What happened to me here? I'm here every day taking care of the kids and waiting for my husband to come home, and there's a dissatisfaction there.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a social thing. You can't blame that on politics so much. It's really the way things have been because men really are not willing to stand up and say, I am me, and I want to be me at any cost, and women too. And so we'll stand up here on this show, and we'll do anything we have to do to make it clear that we don't care really what you think of us, except that we want to express ourselves the way we want to. And
can't argue with that when there are three of you.
No, really, it's not a question. It's not a question of being three of us, but we made a picture here. Can you recognize the difference between real sentiment and sentimentality?
Who?
I'm not talking to you, Dick.
I think that's quite clear by this time.
I didn't really mean that way. I was really interested in the audience's point of view. I made a picture that doesn't have any sentimentality in it, but it has a great deal of feeling in it. It has the kind of emotions that we all experience, but you really don't see on the screen. The kind of emotions that kind of get lost because they're no longer contrived in our film. They're genuine. Delight, hope, irritation, frustration, anger, friendship, love, bewilderment, confusion. They're all there. Go see it.
Okay. What's new?
Pussycat.
Excuse me. What's new with the loneliest guy in town? It says here. Let's watch. We'll be right back. Did you guys find when you made this thing that you found out things about yourself that you didn't know? Can anybody give an example of something like that?
Actually, our wives found out things about us that we didn't know.
I wondered about that because I know how you work, and you're you're starkly honest in your work. And
no, I found out something about myself. I never talk to you, Dick. I always talk to the audience, but
I'm used to it.
I don't know why this man keeps going on.
I found out something about myself.
It's your wrong side, Peter.
Doesn't make any difference at this point.
Attaboy.
I found out that I was more alive than I thought I was. That's a terrific thing to discover. Go ahead, Dick.
More alive.
More alive.
Well, don't leave it at that. Tell us what you mean.
He can't, Dick.
Well, I can. I really can, at the risk of being serious. Don't you find that at the age of 40, those of you who are 40, that you get the feeling that you've seen everything, that nothing is new and nothing is interesting anymore? Isn't it nice to find out that there's something different? That's what I found out. There is something different. Go ahead.
You might not have found that out if you hadn't made the film.
Oh, I wouldn't have found it out. What I was talking about is professionally.
Yeah.
Professionally, I've been in this business quite some time.
Yeah.
And I had reached the conclusion, I really had, that most of the jobs that I took, I was ready to pack in before I even started them, because they were the same tired thing I'd done 1,000,000 times, and they had no interest for me. And this thing had interest for me. I was bewildered, and it was...
You were bewildered. There's no doubt about that, Peter.
I was bewildered, but at the end, I found out...
You don't really want to tell them that. You really don't want to tell them
Thank
that
you,
kind
John.
of stuff, honestly.
All right.
I think we did enough on that dumb picture, and it's a terrific picture.
John?
You ought to see it, but let's not talk about it anymore.
All right.
Let's talk about something else.
You fellas have any hobbies? We only have a couple minutes left. In those two, can you give an example of what you meant by things that your wives would find out in the making of the film?
Yeah, I think that what happened was that we played characters in the beginning that had no relation to us. I mean, there was some kind of a script, and in the beginning they had no relation to us. And as we went along, we stuck our feet in and started to express ourselves more as ourselves.
Well, my wife Janice said there's a scene where I hug them and I kiss them and I say, aside from sex. That's referring to my wife.
Right.
I like you guys better.
She says, I know you wrote that line. You wrote that line. No one else could write that line.
You should make a film where your wives get equal time, probably.
They will.
You may have to...
It is a picture and the first picture ever made, from my point, that shows male love in the way it is in life. The male affection, the male, what some intellectual wrote a book called Men in Groups. It shows that without intellectualizing or without preaching. It shows it on the most tender, beautiful level of any film ever made.
But oddly enough, I think that our wives really do deserve a heck of a hand, because that in the face of anyone asking how was the picture, they always turn like troopers and say, we love it.
That's right.
We love it. All three of our wives. Now,
That's
that's a terrific thing, and they never brought it to us, and they never hung us with that. I know mine didn't, and I'm sure that you guys didn't.
Right.
I really would like to preserve my marriage, because I think it's a lot of great things about it.
Feel free to use our facilities for doing that. We'll be right back after this. Tomorrow night, Maximilian Schell, Carrie Snodgrass, singer Loudon Wainwright, and former prison warden and author of Accomplices to the Crime, Thomas Merton. You guys, it's really been one of the most interesting evenings of my life, I must say. Some of it was a pain, but it was pleasant. And just, would you promise me one thing? Would you go do the same things to Griffin and Tarzan? We'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you.